welcome to come and take an agenda. So please come down and get a copy of whatever documents you might need. We will also be sharing these on screen.
Thank you so much. It's going to be a bit. So good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Let me just. I'm good, thank you. Bear with me, I'm working off 2 screens, a pair of glasses to read and then to look out, and a microphone. So, lots to think about. I just wanted to welcome everyone to the general meeting of members. I'm not going to be calling the roll yet. I just want to have a few announcements and a few things to say. It's lovely to see you all there. If you could just say hello to someone you have not met yet, just for literally like 45 seconds. Introduce yourself to someone you have not yet met.
Yeah, so what do you want me to do?
You're going to be doing the hosty stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The voting, absolutely.
So I'll just be in the corner and you.
Yes.
Let
Oh.
me know if you want me to call everyone to attention after the 45 seconds are over.
Yeah. Good. Okay, we're getting close. Testing. Okay. 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 Okay, thank you. Can you hear me with this? Raise your hand if you can hear me. Okay. Okay, well, thank you. Hopefully you've met somebody new. I've met quite a few people at the conference. It's been really exciting to be here amongst you all. But I really wanted to just start by thanking Dr. Toki Brown and her team for this conference. And I just want to take a moment for everyone to kind of thank you, celebrate, and clap. Thank you so much. Really, very an outstanding job. But also want to express our thanks to all the people that are making things happen, that are serving our food and our coffee and printing and venue staff and microphones and all of those kinds of things. The event would not be possible without you all. So thank you very much. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our outstanding team, the ACHS team, the executive committee that includes all the members of that, the VPs, my amazing secretary, Jess Mace. None of this would be possible without her, our chapters, our early career network, all of the people that do all of the work to make these kinds of things happen in this association run, as well as our founding members, our past presidents, and all the people that are involved, including my husband, who's taking a film of me right now. Thank you. All right. Okay. And most of all, I'd like to thank our members. Our ACHS members are truly phenomenal. A lot of times I'll look through the member database to see the kind of people and work that's happening out there. It's really extraordinary. The places in the world that you're working, what you're working on, and all these connections. So thank you to our members. We really appreciate all that you do and all that you bring to our association. Okay. So let's get to, I'm going to call this to order. So, good afternoon. I'm calling this meeting to order. I would like to ask our secretary to note both the executive committee members that are present, as well as confirm that we have a quorum present. Okay, big thumbs up. Excellent. So now I'd like to move on to item 1 of the agenda. These are available. There's also a QR code that has some updated materials that you'll be seeing in a bit that was in the beginning. There are a few corrections to the minutes that I would like to call attention to. What's that? The corrections to the agenda. Oh, yeah. And that is, I'm removing the bylaws from item 4.2, not discussing that. The item on the newly elected officers of the executive committee will be changed to a heading called Officers of the Executive Committee, and I'll explain that in a bit. I'm removing item 10 from the word of welcome, the 2026 conference host. That's in a different section. Are there any other corrections to the agenda? Okay. I'd like to call a vote to approve the amended minutes through a show of hands. Yeah? Okay, good. The minutes stand approved as distributed. Next, I would like to, if people have had the opportunity to read the minutes of the 2022 General Meeting of Members, and I'm going to be calling for the approval of the minutes from that were provided ahead of this meeting. Are there any changes or additions to the minutes of 2022? Okay. Okay, so the question is the approval of the minutes. Those in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Okay. Those opposed? Very good. And the affirmative has it, and the minutes have been approved. So the next item on the agenda, item 3, is the reports of the vice presidents. These reports were presented in the materials sent to members before this meeting. And those would be the Conference and Events Committee, Communications Committee, Chapters Committee, and Membership Committee. We will take the reports as read, and I'll be discussing something about the treasurers in a later item, item 5. Okay. Okay, so now we will be discussing the report of the president. I'm not going to go into great detail, but I did want to highlight that, as a reminder, the full president's report is presented in the GMM material sent to you all ahead of time. So just to kind of do some high points of that, I wanted to talk about how the executive committee and the association has been working on ideas of representation. That's kind of been the theme for the last 2 years. And we've done quite a few things to expand that through chapters, through increased bursaries, and other venues for members to share their research. And so one of those I'd like to highlight is Dr. Dwayne Jethro's he helped spearhead the launch of this Currents in Critical Heritage Studies. Anybody seen that online? Excellent, good. And we'd really like to kind of make that more prominent, but it's an online publication to highlight contributions from the ACHS members and community. And it's a platform that's intended to serve a way to discuss latest development and challenges in the fields of critical heritage studies itself. So that's something that Dr. Jethro has been working on. We've had 2 so far. We have another one in the pipeline. We also have several new chapters. Our VP of Chapters and Chapters Committee have been working tirelessly in streamlining and working with chapters, but also increasing chapters. They have helped to establish Latin American and Caribbean chapter. There's also an Italian chapter that was established in 2023. And I've heard through the grapevine that Ali Mosafari and David Harvey are now working through the logistics of the HTN is the acronym. Yes, that's right. And it's called Heritage and Transnationalism. And I'm just going to read out a little bit here. This new chapter or network will expand our understanding of heritage as it intersects with international relations, geography, geopolitics, public diplomacy, statecraft, diaspora studies, borderlands, and crossroads studies. So that is something we'll be paying attention to. We'll be putting that up on the website not too far from here, right? Yeah. Another way that we've been really working on equity and representation is one of our most fabulous groups in the association, our Early Career Network. These folks are putting on online conferences, they're networking, they're connecting. There's a new blog that's on the website. And so do check out their new blog and to pay careful attention to some of the things that they've been doing. They are an important part of our association in that they provide that kind of interface and are really pushing new directions and new insights. And then we're seeing how the Early Career Network is also starting to move into positions on the board and such. So we're really thankful for all the work that they do. And if you want to hear more about these kinds of activities that we've been doing, please do read the reports. Okay, so item 5 is the treasurer's report. Our treasurer, Marissa Engel-Brown, has worked. It's a new position, the treasurer. And if you check out this hello. Okay. Yeah, there we go. The QR code provides. So we provided financial statements from 2022, but since then we have the financial statements from 2023, which will be circulated and made available to the membership, or you can also, if you have a QR code, you can check that out here. Please do submit any questions to us if you have any questions about these reports. But I do want to note that the financials are healthy. I'll talk about bursaries in the next slide. We're doing well. Things are being sustained. I do know that the membership committee has been working on new member levels, and we're trying to move into donor engagement and other kinds of things to generate funds to support our members, right? We'll talk about bursaries in a moment. So I need to ask for a motion, right, to approve the financial statements. Lucas, you're making the motion? And I need someone to second. Oh, look at that. Miriam in the back seconding that motion. So a motion is made and carried? No. Now I need to vote. Thank you. Can we vote on the motion is for approval of the financial statements? And a show of hands? Yeah. And that, okay. We're carried. Excellent. Okay. So, okay. I thought you had your hand up. Okay. So let's talk a bit about bursaries. So if you can remember, I think it was Lucy actually was the one that really kind of spearheaded the bursaries, and we got those up and running. And there was some feedback at the last general meeting about the bursaries. And so we heard you, and we put together a committee to review and think about ways to allocate bursaries, and thinking about things such as geography and geography, like where people are coming, how much it costs to get someplace, different stages of the career. So they, in the 2022-24 cycle, the committee revisited this and decided to both increase bursary allocations and how best to support members who are traveling from regions that are unable to attend due to costs. And so this has been very good. We had a number of bursaries in 2022, but in this last conference, this has been increased. Some of our travel fellows are here, and we'd like to congratulate you and welcome you to the meeting. We increased the amount of money for bursaries by, I think, to 16, or almost 17,000. So if there are any questions, or if anybody wanted to discuss the bursaries or anything, I open the floor to any kinds of comments. Do we have any bursary fellows amongst us? They were oh, hey, all right. Okay, great. And we'll be, again, convening that committee again in the next cycle and thinking about ways to support our members. My favorite slide. Okay. So, due to a technical issue encountered with our voting process and in compliance with the ACHS bylaws, we have extended the voting period for 2 weeks. And this extension is necessary to ensure that all of our members have the opportunity to participate fairly. The current committee will remain active until the conclusion of this voting period, and voting will be through June 19th. When we close the voting, we'll announce the election results on June 19th via email and on the website. Thank you for understanding. Any questions or concerns? Oh. Okay. Yeah.
You're all very easygoing.
Yes. Okay. And it's good with the legal scholars. Okay. All right. Okay. I was a little bit nervous about that one. Okay. And I do apologize. So, a fun part of this general meeting of members is when we get to invite up our 2026 Wellington team to provide a little Q&A to tell us a little bit about what's going on, and an opportunity for you all to ask any questions after Lee presents.
Thanks a lot, Melissa. I haven't actually prepared a formal presentation because I feel like I had my slot on which I was very grateful for during the opening ceremony. But I think there might have been some people who missed that. But probably the most important thing is to let you know that we're hard at work planning already. We've had an organising committee that's been meeting since June last year. So, because we're very aware that although it's 2.5 years away, it's going to go really quickly, and that we worked really hard to get this get a website up and running for this conference, so we could have that launch, and it gives you something to go and have a look at. So please go and check out the conference website. That's ACHS2026.nz. And there's some basic information there about the dates, the theme, a welcome. We might also be posting the video there because some people have said they'd like to see the video that we showed. So I guess when I get back to Aotearoa, our next steps are going to be, starting to plan more concretely for the program and the call for papers and those sorts of things. And as I mentioned on Monday, we'll be reaching out to the association because we'd like to engage with you around the sorts of things that you would like to come to Wellington to talk about. And so look out for that. I'm thinking probably a good way to do that is through chapters, but also we have a sign-up form on the website. So please register your interest because that's a really good gauge for us for who is already thinking about coming. So yeah, and I know for many of you it's a long journey to New Zealand, but we we really, really want to make it worth your while to come. So please do look at that. Yeah, any questions that people have about the conference? Yeah, thanks for that. We have been talking about that because we're very conscious about the, as you say, accessibility. That is the technical difficulties, but also the cost. So we're trying to balance all those things and thinking about how we'll manage that. So I would like to say at this stage, though I can't make any promises, that there will be some degree of hybridity, but maybe not a fully hybrid conference just due to the difficulty of that. But yeah, that would be another thing that would be good to engage with people about. Thank you.
Just reiterate that point actually, because of the timing of the conference, the risk is that a lot of people will be involved with teaching in certain countries. So for in the UK, it's within term time. So a hybrid element to that might actually mean more people are able to come. I don't know whether that's the same in Europe, but we will be in the middle of the teaching term and have to do a lot to justify our absence. Right.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, we had conversations around the dates as well. It's really hard to find something that would work with everybody's term times. The other thing to remember is time zones, because if we're streaming things from New Zealand, it'll be sort of during the night in Europe. So yeah, those are some of the technical challenges that we'll have to look at. Okay, thanks.
At that time of year, it's a convenient 13-hour time difference between the UK or Ireland and New Zealand. So enjoy that.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Kia ora iho. Just for everybody else's information, could you let us know how you're going to be presumably working with the mana whenua, with the iwi authorities of Pōneke, seeing as home people, First Nations, and that it's critical heritage studies. It'd be fantastic to see the treaty and the First Nations actually represented.
Yes, thanks for that, Desna. I talked a little bit more about this in the formal presentation, but I think it's on this page. You can read about the theme, the work that's gone into the theme, and the organising committee, which includes mana whenua, that's more part of the work that we'll be doing when we're going back. We'll be further engaging with Ngāti Toa Rangatira and Te Atiawa, who are the mana whenua of Wellington, and working with them for what they'd like from the conference. Yeah, but then the theme is really intended to be looking at heritage through a Te Ao Māori perspective and a Moana Oceania perspective. So that's definitely part of the work that we're hoping to do.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we're all looking forward to 2026. And I did want to make a note that the team here has been streaming lots of these keynotes and providing other opportunities for engagement beyond the conference. And I thank the organizer and Toki for doing that. So thank you. Okay. Okay, so super exciting. So now we get to talk a bit about a conference vote for our 2028 ACHS biennial. I'm dragging this out a little bit. There were 3 teams that were interested, 2 not quite ready to present this year, and we received a fabulous bid for the 2028 conference location in Warsaw, Poland. Hannah Schreiber and Andrzej Jakubowski will be discussing this as well as their colleagues. And the materials were made available and circulated in advance of the meeting. So what we're going to do is allow them some time to present their bid, then we'll take questions, and then we'll take a vote for the location, and that vote will be held by show of hands as prescribed in the bylaws. Unless anyone wants a secret vote, and then we'll run a paper ballot. Okay, so I'd like to invite you to the floor and help you set up your presentation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay.
Staniemy, żeby widzieć ten komputer, nie? Tu.
No dobra.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to present our offer to host the biannual Association of Critical Heritage Studies Conference in Warsaw in 2028. Let me first introduce to you our team. Here is Monika Stobiecka. She's art historian and archaeologist and co-founder of the Central and Eastern Europe chapter, the newly established chapter in the association. Andrzej Jakubowski, also art historian and a lawyer, engaged in the association work since the first conference in Gothenburg, and Paweł Mrowiński, who is a historian and political scientist and a member of the promotion office at the Faculty of Political Science at the University of Warsaw. And myself, Hanna Schreiber, I'm also art historian, lawyer and political scientist, and now holder of the UNESCO Chair on Intangible Heritage in Public and Global Governance. As you can see, we are all members of the local organizing committee, and we have collaboratively worked on this bid. The head of the local organizing committee, the dean of the faculty, Professor Daniel Przastek, is not with us today, but he extended his warm invitation together with the rector of the University of Warsaw to you all. And I would need to acknowledge also the support from the mayor of Warsaw, who is also expecting to support the great flow of the event if we will be granted this honor. So I would also need to acknowledge and extend our warm thanks to scientific committee members. They are great scholars representing all regions of the world that work in the field of heritage studies. And they were all individually approached by us, and they all give their individual consent to be part of this endeavor and to avail their expertise to help us organize the best possible event. I would also like to right now to express our deepest gratitude to our colleagues from the newly established European Central and Eastern Europe chapter, who were really extremely supportive. We have discussed with them our bid proposal, and they did a wonderful, supportive, friendly work together with us. So thank you, dear colleagues, a lot. At the end of this long queue of thanks, I would like to also say that if we will be granted this privilege, we will be cooperating with a very experienced, well-known on the Polish market, but also on the international market company that supports such huge events, Symposium Krakowiense. So we hope we can all focus on the content matters, whereas they will take care of all these, administrative burdens. And now I would like to pass the mic to Andrzej.
Thank you. So, and the topic I would like to propose for this conference is heritage and transformations. And we intend to organize and to encourage discussions and debates around the following questions. How does heritage transform itself, and when it's transformed? In what ways? By whom? To what extent? Also, like addressing these big questions, we would like to focus on some more specific issues. So the first question: so how has heritage been transformed in the context of transformations in political regimes? How is heritage transformed between various users and stakeholders, and their often mutually exclusive narratives? How does heritage transform itself in post-conflict and post-traumatic experiences? And obviously, what is the theoretical potential of transformation as a concept for heritage studies? And we believe that our city also is it's a great place, ideal place to study the wider topic of heritage and transformations, because it's a true laboratory of transformations, political, economic, social, and cultural.
And to show you some examples, we will start with the switch from analog to digital methods of researching, representing, and creating narratives about heritage. Poland, and in particularly Warsaw, is a perfect place to discuss the transformation, as we have witnessed the creation of more than 100 multimedia and digital museums in the whole country, starting with the paradigm shifting example of the Warsaw Uprising Museum. Transformations can be also illustrated by the evolving relationship between Polish heritage and multiple migrant heritages that we witnessed to flourish after the invasion of Russia in Ukraine. In Warsaw, we can observe the emergence of new local and migrant heritages interwoven in this very interesting multicultural fabric. Thirdly, taking inspiration from post-humanist paradigm in Warsaw, we could discuss the switch from nature and culture, so the binary opposition, to nature cultures, and resulting multi-species and non-human readings of heritage. Warsaw's localization in the Central Eastern Europe makes it possible also to discuss heritage research from a non-Western standpoint. Additionally, enriching our theoretical discussions with such topics as the post-qualitative and post-critical methods that shape the ongoing empirical turn.
And let me add to the points raised by Monica that Warsaw is also a unique example of a city that survived its own death. And just to give you numbers, 95% of urban architecture was turned into ashes during the Second World War. Massive killings and massacres of civilian populations resulted in the transfer of a population outside the city. So it's a city that really raised from the ashes, and the city that also represents unprecedented crisis in cultural continuity and intergenerational transmissions. And since 5 years, thanks to the trust that we built between academia and the city administration, we have started to work on this issue. We have established a Warsaw Intangible Heritage team that works with these traditions and the transformations of traditions that were first erased from the city, then came back with different communities to the city after the war, that were created, recreated, revived. So all possible elements of heritage transformation are in Warsaw, and we are happy and we would love to show these experiences to you.
Okay, after scientific and theoretical issues, I'm going to say a few words about the Warsaw and our university in context to be perfect place for conference in 2028. First of all, Warsaw is fast-growing and developing city. In a lot of rankings, it's named one of the best European capital to visit. It's very important that Warsaw is centrally located with 3 international airports. What it means that we have connection with almost 200 destinations around the world. Despite the fact that Warsaw is fast-growing and developing city, it's not so expensive city at all. For example, accommodation price in 3- and 4-star hotel is around 60-70 euros with breakfast. Another thing very important, I think, when we speak about the city, is the city transport is unified in Warsaw. And very, to be honest, cheap, because €1 you can travel for 70 minutes around the whole Warsaw by train, by buses, and also by subway. Obviously, if you prefer a more ecological way of travel, you can borrow urban bike system, which is very cheap and very popular nowadays, especially during summer in Warsaw. A few words about our University of Warsaw. Maybe it isn't the oldest university in our region, thanks Charles in Prague, but I think we are the largest and very fast developing to be the best, not only in Poland. For example, we have cooperation with almost 500 institutions around the world. We have 1,600 scientific projects financed by Polish institutions, but also by international institutions. Faculty of Political Science and International Studies, which I and Hanna represent, is the biggest faculty in our university. We have the biggest number of foreign students, of course, because we are international studies faculty. So this is important for us, cooperation with institutions and around the world. What's very important, our faculty building is located on the main campus, which is on the heart of the Warsaw Old Town. You, Hanna, already said about this heritage of Warsaw. What's very important about venues, our faculty can provide different kind and capacity rooms. We can offer even 15 parallel panels during the conference in our building. Also, as I said, the cooperation with institutions around the world is very important for us. This is why we already organize and still organizing conferences from different fields of disciplines. For example, public policy last year, this year, international relations and cultural policy, and also the next year, political science. And we are hoping that critical heritage studies will be another scientific area hosted by us. And last slide for me, obviously, the budget. It's hard to say and calculate the budget 4 years ahead, especially during so turbulent times. But we need to say that in our budget we want to prevent various provide conference fees affordable for researchers from different countries, different regions, but also on different stages of the research career, and this is very important for us to be affordable for everyone. So this is from me, and Hannah will have.
Thank you. So just to give you, as a last slide, some recent activities that are related to heritage and heritage studies, including in critical heritage studies. Our whole team was engaged in organizing in March Heritage Week at the University of Warsaw, with the aim to broaden the interest among students and scholars in critical heritage studies. We were discussing the issues of repatriation, from repatriation through the UNESCO entanglements up, and we finished with the critical points in critical heritage studies. We also develop our international engagement by including under the umbrella of the newly established UNESCO chair partners from Barbados, from Kenya, from South Africa, from Ukraine, from United States, and from many other, Morocco. So from many countries. So we hope that this international flavor and this critical reflection that is being developed will provide a fruitful ground and will make you want to come to Warsaw in 28, what we really hope for. Thank you for your attention. And obviously
Are there any questions to our bidders? Going once? Going twice? All right, I'm sold. Let's see how you're feeling. All right, so yeah. Sorry, do you have any?
Yeah, so maybe last word. I see that there are no questions, but maybe you would like to digest some more information about the potential of heritage transformations. We brought to you a small bribe, which is souvenir. Sorry, I'm too honest. I'm always. It's Central Eastern European heritage. Yes, no, but it's honesty. Honesty is our heritage. So there are some leaflets about the traditions and the short history of Warsaw, and there are some leaflets about the UNESCO chair, but also some practical things. So if you believe in that we are all responsible for keeping and for actually being involved in the climate sustainability, we brought some wildflower seeds from Poland. I know that not many of you can bring them back to your countries, but maybe we can do some subversive gardening and you can, plant them anywhere in Ireland and maybe in your countries too. So there are some small seeds of wildflowers. And also, because Big Brother is watching us everywhere, so there are some lockers to your camera in the laptop. So if you want, to control who is looking and when, so there are also some small gifts with the logo of our faculty.
Let's save those for after the vote, just in case. But yeah, please do come forward and grab some. All right, yes, please sit down. Are there any thoughts at this stage before the vote? Otherwise, by a show of hands, who supports Warsaw 2028? All right, we're done. Sorry, do you actually need a number for the minutes? Yeah, it's by acclamation, essentially. Yeah, couldn't see any hands not up, so we're good. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Warsaw. We're very excited.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucas, for your help. I'd also like to thank Miriam Joanetta, Dr. Joanetta in the back, who's been the VP of conferences, has been doing such an amazing job working with people on these bids and hosts, and thank you very much for all your work. So I'm really delighted to welcome Warsaw into the biennial ACHS family, and if you wanted to say anything else at this moment, I provide the floor for you if anybody has come up with any questions before we move on.
I would just say in the name of the team, thank you so much. We will do our best, and I'm sure you will enjoy Warsaw.
Yes, wonderful. Okay. And is this me? No, that's your. Okay. We're getting there. All right. Okay, word of welcome. So, if there is no further business,
I have an item.
Yes.
No, I was just noticing that, despite the issue with the elections, which extends your term for a couple of weeks, you are stepping down as our president.
I am.
So I just wanted to move a motion of thanks and have that in the minutes. So thank you so much for being a wonderful president and steering us for some tough but yet very exciting times, and leaving the association in such great standing for whoever our next president is, hypothetically speaking, Toki Latumbre. So that's the motion. Seconded, yes, we have seconders. We have approval, yes. So thank you very much, Melissa Baird.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It's really been an honor to serve and to be part of this association. I'm looking forward to many, many more years together. Okay, so if there's no further business, I would like to call a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, yes. Okay, do I have a second? Okay, I'm going to, Naomi, I'm going to go with Naomi up there. The motion has passed, and the meeting is adjourned. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. All right.